Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking if you should be stacking Peace Dollars as part of your silver stacking strategy. It's something that I've been thinking about. I enjoy owning Peace Dollars myself, especially ones with nice eye appeal that have nice toning, and these were just some Peace Dollars that came in recently. I think that I'll sell most of them eventually, but I did want to talk, should we be considering Peace Dollars to add to the silver stack, and if you do, how should you go about doing it? What are some of the pros and cons? So we'll be doing a good comprehensive review with some food for thought on either end. Let's get right into the video. So I think some of the things to think about in general when you are stacking silver, right, because it's not like a collecting Peace Dollars video, it's a stacking Peace Dollars. Are these a good fit for somebody who's interested in purchasing them? And I think the thing to get right out of the way in the beginning is that you can do other methods of getting more silver for less dollars. So Peace Dollars have always had more premium attached to them than other forms, whether it's 90% constitutional or junk US pre-65 silver, which is always a great option that I recommend as just a really, basics, something that you can go do and make sure that you get a good amount of silver content. The Peace Dollars made from 1921 to 1935 with a break from 29 to 33. These are numismatic coins, and that's just super important to be aware of the whole time. There's a lot of sort of collectible factor to them, and that's something that a lot of people may miss out, but the problem with that is that, right now silver in the coin that I'm holding is about $17, and it's going to be tough to find these probably for too much below like 26, 27, 28. These are a little bit nicer conditions, so they're going to be a little pricier, but generally the Peace Dollars have been less than Morgan silver dollars, which is something to think about. And there is some cool depth to the Peace Dollars that makes them an interesting target. But I think now that we've gotten the general thing is there's better options for silver stackers. If you're still interested in Peace Dollars, there's a lot of things that you should also be thinking about. So I think one of the first things is to realize that these have generally been less appreciated or less wanted compared to the Morgan silver dollar, which is like the king of the classic US silver dollars, which were made starting in 1878 and ran until 1921, when these started sort of commemorate the peace post-World War I. At that time, it was just the Great War, or the World War. They didn't know that II was right around the corner. And there were also a lot of special interests involved in the production of these Peace Dollars. They were sending a lot of them to Britain to shore up Britain's insecurities in their colonies over whether they actually had backing for their currency. But forgetting about all of that, I think one of the nice things is that you can buy a lot of these in AU or, nice XF, but coins with nice eye appeal for very little premium. If you're going around to a lot of shops, they don't really know what to do with them, or they don't really want to sit on them for a long time and buy in, sell them individually. Often you can sort of go, not that you're going to be able to clear out a bunch of mint state Peace Dollars, but you can buy the slightly better dates or, coins. Maybe I should back up and show like coins that sort of look like this. That's not a super nice coin, but has a little bit of luster, a little bit of eye appeal left over, and it's going to be tough to get too much more than sort of the bulk trading price, which there's going to be a floor that's lower than the Morgan silver dollars. Additionally, there's a much less, demand for bids on right now Morgan dollars that are like 64 are always worth grading. I remember not too long ago that wasn't really the case. I think still like Peace Dollars have some catching up to do. This one's nice, and I like how it has a little bit of color and toning on it. And that's another thing. There's a lot of there's not as much toning on the Peace Dollars, so you can do well if you can buy nice toned coins. But I think something else, there's a lot of VAMs on these, so smaller varieties that you can look for that will make, there's about 50 of them that are like the more accredited or well recognized, but there's tons of different die varieties, whether it's like some slight doubling or there's a little die break in the hair or different things going on. You can learn those and know them inside out, and then be able to pick up on a lot of rare coins that most people are just going to be passing over because they're not as closely familiar with the VAMs that are present on the Peace series. So I think that that's another way you can do well with them. And one other thing to consider is right now they're relatively high, but for a while they were trading very, with much lower premiums relative to their the value of the silver inside of them. So right now it's kind of high, but in general, just because you're paying higher premiums now, you're probably going to be able to sell them with some type of premium attached to them, which is, important. I think you can definitely, again, cherry pick better grades, and especially because they're less in demand versus Morgans, less people. I think there's also a little bit of like an optics thing in that these are from the 1920s and 1930s. These are not like 1800s coins, and maybe people like the Morgans a bit better because of that. But you can also complete a full set of these, and in circulated grades, there's a few key dates, and then especially the 1921 high relief is going to be more of a purchase as well. But you can conceivably build a full set, and it's not so unattainable like it is with Morgan silver dollars, where there's tons that are just going to be, whether it's several $100s or a few thousand, very challenging to go after. Not to say that it's easy to build a set of Peace, but if you don't discriminate, if you're going to buy a key date Peace dollar that's not in like a decent condition, make sure that it's not cleaned. Just a little bit of something to consider. Always go for, and that's different if you're buying it for like bulk Peace dollar prices, but look out for just nice eye appeal examples. That's something important to realize. The strike often on the Peace isn't quite as nice as it is on Morgan's, so there are a lot of conditional rarities that you can be aware of and stack and deal intelligently on that front. But I think right now, Silver Eagles have much higher premiums, or probably pretty similar premiums compared to the Peace dollar. So if you really just want to buy U.S. silver coins, I think at that point, why would you buy a modern Silver Eagle if you instead could buy a Peace dollar? And I think, again, there's much better options. 90% silver constitutional. Maybe it's like 1 ounce rounds that are privately made, which I personally don't love just because I like the recognizability. But at that stage, if you're going to be paying higher premiums and you don't want to just go for like the 90% constitutional junk silver option, then I would definitely try to land with something like the Peace dollar or the Morgan dollar. If you can buy Morgans at the same price that you're buying the Peace at, definitely focus on the Morgan dollars unless the Peace are at a more exceptional condition. But I think that those premiums are still indicative that these are numismatics and they're not the best stacking stuff to go with, but hopefully these are some considerations, maybe 1 or 2 nuggets of wisdom or perspective, or just things to think about as you consider the Peace silver dollar as a stacking target. Do I have them personally in my silver stack? Not really. It's not been something that I've focused too much on, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. And I always also try to show what am I aligned with. I personally own more Morgans, and I try to apply some of the same principles in terms of looking for VAMs, knowing which are going to be the slightly better dates or have a conditional rarity, things like that, and go after those ones. But hope that this is helpful. I generally would say if you're just stacking, probably avoid these unless you're trying to, you could build a typeset, buy one of these in Mint State 64 in a common date. It's going to be a pretty coin to go in your collection, but probably not the best thing to stack. On the other hand, there's plenty of Peace specialists who are really good at trading Peace dollars. You can do very well with some expertise that you sort of have that other people don't. So all things to think about. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe what I'm saying you completely disagree with, and I'd be interested to hear from you in the comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some similar videos in the future. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Treasure Town, and get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out my website, treasuretowncoins.com, for news and updates related to the channel and collectibles in general. Lastly, there's a link tree in the description with links to all of my other sites, as well as some affiliate links that can support the channel. But with that being said, have a great day, and I'll hope to see you on some of my videos in the future.